He voted. She voted. So did he. Yep, her too. They've all chosen to make their voice heard. They know their voice is their vote. They don't want anyone else speaking for them. How about you? Will you voice your vote this election? Making your voice heard is as easy as visiting your polling location on Election Day or completing an absentee ballot. Taking the time to know the candidates and issues doesn't hurt either. Voting is your right. Making informed decisions is your choice. Don't let others speak for you on Election Day. North Dakota does not require you to register to vote. However, there are eligibility requirements you must meet. You must be a U.S. citizen and be 18 years of age or older. You must also live in North Dakota and can only vote in a precinct in which you have lived for 30 days prior to the election. If you have recently moved or are a student, you must vote in your old precinct if you do not meet the 30 days requirement. Finding your polling location is as easy as visiting the Secretary of State's website, calling your county auditor, or watching your local papers for voting information. All of these resources offer information about polling locations based on your home address. When entering your polling site, you'll notice a number of posters. Some of the posters deal directly with election law. Others give you important information on voting instructions, ID requirements, and more. They are a resource for you to use. You can also ask any person working the polls for help. Poll workers will be happy to answer your voting-related questions and can provide assistance in many ways. Your first stop in the polling site will be to the clerks. They have the important job of making sure your vote is yours and yours alone. They check your identity and record that you have voted in the poll book. Try to have your ID ready as you approach the clerk's table. There are a number of things that can be used as identification. Most importantly, ID must include your home address. Accepted forms of ID include a driver's license, a state ID, a federally issued ID such as a passport or agency ID card, a tribal government ID, a student ID, a military ID, a utility bill dated 30 days prior to the election that includes your name and address, or a change of address verification letter from the U.S. Postal Service. If none of these ID forms listed work for you, you still have the right to vote. There are two options available to anyone without identification. A poll worker who knows you can choose to vouch for you. Remember, this is the poll worker's choice, and they are not required to vouch for anyone. Most voters without ID choose to fill out the voter's affidavit. The voter's affidavit is a legal document which confirms you are who you say you are, and once you sign it, confirms that it is your right to vote in that precinct.
Good morning. Your name and ID, please?
Sure, Mark Dawson.
Thanks. I'll mark you in my poll book, and then if you'll just step to your left, you can pick up your ballot.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could I see your name and your ID, please? Thank you.
Rosanna Mitchell.
Okay.
I recently moved and I haven't updated my new address on the driver's license, so I brought a utility bill with my correct address in it.
Okay, let's see here. Your name and your address, and it's dated within 30 days. I'm just going to take this information down, and you can just move to the left and they'll hand you a ballot. Thank you.
Hi, Rosanna.
Now that we've seen how an acceptable form of ID works, let's take a look at the other two options available.
Well, hello, Shirley. How are those grandbabies?
Just great, Gladys. Getting bigger every day. Is this your grandson?
Yes, this is Jacob's boy. Tim, this is an old family friend, Shirley Jenkins. She changed your father's diapers.
I'm sure he loved that.
How is staying with Grandma?
Not bad. I love having her home cooking.
May I see your IDs, please?
I'm sure I put my wallet in here when I left home, but it's not in here. Does that mean I have to run home to get it?
I'd be glad to vouch for you, Gladys.
I didn't know I needed my ID.
Oh, aren't we a sorry pair? Could you vouch for Tim also?
I'd rather you fill out a voter's affidavit, Tim. I feel a little uncomfortable vouching for you since I don't really know you. I hope you understand.
What's an affidavit do?
It's really simple. It's a legal document that you sign your name and address. It confirms that you are who you say you are, and it confirms that you have the right to vote in this precinct.
Okay.
Sign your name here, write your address, and Gladys, you may take your ballot from John over there.
Well, thanks, Shirley.
Take care. You too, Gladys.
Is this okay?
Looks perfect. Nice to meet you, Tim. You may grab your ballot as well. Take care of your grandma.
Once you receive your ballot, you should check that it's initialed. The poll worker reviews each ballot and marks it with his or her initials. The initials certify that it is a valid ballot ready for your vote. Remember, it's okay to ask for help too. Poll workers are there to assist you in any way you need. It might be by answering a question or helping you read the small print on the ballot. Don't feel shy about asking. It's their job. Each polling site in North Dakota has 2 ways you can vote your ballot. You can use a voting booth and mark your ballot with the pen provided to you. Or you can use the accessible voting device. Accessible voting devices give voters of all abilities options to make it easier for them to cast their own ballot. The accessible device provides opportunities for assistive technology devices like the sip and puff switch. It can also read the ballot for you and provide larger type if needed. People who have never had the opportunity to vote without help can now do so with this device. Ballot booths come in all shapes and sizes. Some require you to stand, others allow you to sit. The purpose they all serve is to provide you some privacy when voting. Your vote is your business. It need not be shared with anyone around you, or even a nosy spouse.
Who'd you vote for president?
The best candidate.
Well, which one is that?
Okay, honey, that's enough.
Come on, just tell me.
Honey.
Remember to completely darken the ovals when casting your votes. Darkening in the whole oval is important in making sure the ballot is read properly. When writing in candidates, you must darken in the oval to vote for the candidate. A darkened oval shows your intent to vote. Without it, your vote may not be counted accurately. If you make a mistake while voting, you can ask for a new ballot. You can receive up to 2 ballots to correct mistakes, but you must cast your 3rd ballot. If you choose to use the accessible voting device, you'll be given the same ballot as all other voters. The accessible device will mark the ballot for you as you make choices using the keypad or touchscreen or other assistive technology. There are both audio and visual options available to use on the device. The accessible voting device allows you to review your choices prior to printing the ballot. If needed, you have the option to ask for a new ballot. You can receive up to 2 ballots, but you must cast your 3rd ballot. Now that you've completed the ballot, it is time to cast your vote. Each polling location provides a secrecy sleeve for you to place your ballot in. This allows you to keep your ballot private when approaching the ballot scanner. The ballot scanner is designed to read your ballot for accuracy. You can insert your ballot in any direction into the ballot scanner. If you need assistance, a poll worker can help you in getting your ballot scanned. The scanner will check to make sure all your votes are valid. If it finds a mistake, it will notify you of the mistake, and you may be able to cast another ballot. If errors are not found, it will automatically accept your ballot, which will be dropped into the ballot box, and your vote is counted. Voting is a privilege. It is your voice in our system of democracy. When you've taken the time to voice your vote, you should be proud. Proud because you don't let others speak for you on Election Day. Nope, not you. Should you be unable to visit the polls on Election Day, remember to vote by absentee prior to the election. Absentee ballots are available from your county auditor. If you feel your access to voting was difficult, you can file a complaint with the Secretary of State's office. This message has been brought to you by the Help America Vote Act and the North Dakota Secretary of State's Election Division.